Next thing, the dogs come out the bush and they just come straight at me. They just sprint straight at me. I just had to stand there and pray that Nina wouldn't run away. And then the next moment, I was just going down to the ground and we both fell. Hi everyone, today I want to tell you about the chaos that unfolded before Nina and I's first 130 together. Now, I've jumped higher than 130, I've jumped 140 with another horse of mine, I've been actively in the 130 with another horse of mine, but Nina is my young horse. And I only got her at the beginning of last year. So in about March or April, we did our first show, and that was at 80 centimeters. And now, just over a year and a half down the line, we were entered in for our first 130. But you won't believe the things that happened just a couple days before our first 130 together. So the show was on the Friday. On the Wednesday, I took her up to the sand track at the top of our road. And when I got there, it was about 6:30 in the morning. When I got there, I saw that there was a car parked at the corner of the track and that there was a lady walking down away from me with her dogs. Now, this isn't unusual because a lot of people like walking their dogs at this specific track. But a lot of people's dogs are quite familiar with horses. But I still thought to myself, let me just walk the opposite way around, because then if her dogs aren't familiar with horses, it will give her a chance to see me in advance and to put her dogs on a leash if she needs to, because I could see that her dogs were just off the leash. Right, anyway, so I start walking around, and as we sort of get closer, she sees me. And at this moment, her dogs run into this bush, just to the side of the track. And they obviously are chasing something in this bush. So now the bush is flipping, moving all over the place. And so I decide, okay, let me just stop Nina and just wait for the dogs to come out the bush, because also I didn't want her to get a fright if I try and walk past this shaking bush. Horses are funny like that. They can be really spooky at those sorts of things, especially a shaking bush. I mean, come on, could be a horse-eating shaking bush. Anyway, so I just stand there, and now for the next 5 minutes, this lady is shouting at her dogs to come out the bush, but they are just not listening. So I still don't really think much of this. Next thing, the dogs come out the bush and they just come straight at me. They just sprint straight at me. Now, in the past, I've thought about this, and I've thought, okay, if dogs ever run at me, I'm gonna get off and defend my horse with my whip, like a Star Wars Jedi. But in this moment, there was absolutely nothing that I could do. I mean, there just wasn't enough space between the dogs and Nina and I for me to do anything. So I just had to stand there and pray that Nina wouldn't run away, because then it will give the dogs something to chase. So I just stood there, and Nina, being the saint that she is, didn't move a muscle until the dogs were literally right underneath her legs. And at this point she decided, okay, maybe it's time to move, and she just did a little rear to the side and then moved away, shuffled away. And then the dogs carried on running past us. They were under her legs, she did this little move, and then they carried on running. So that was the first thing that happened. The next day, I'm riding Nina, I'm having such a nice ride, and my dad had gone to the UK for a week. So he'd arrived early that morning from the airport. And so as I was trotting in the arena down by where our gate is, he came through the gate at that moment that I was nearest to the gate in the arena. And Nina, and he drove in and I waved at him. And then the next moment, I was just going down to the ground. And she had tripped over her own feet, and we both fell. So my dad said to me that one moment he saw me wave at him, and then he looked over his shoulder as he carried on driving, and he saw Nina's legs in the air. So yeah, I face planted. And then I knew in that moment that Nina had fallen, and I had this quick thought of let me roll away so that she doesn't roll on top of me. And she actually rolled out the arena. So yeah, that was crazy. She luckily was okay. And then she got up, I got up. I was like still trying to process what on earth happened. She came back into the arena. Now my air jacket had blown up, right? And a lot of horses, when they see the air jacket like that, it's like blowing out this air like tss. So it's quite scary. A lot of horses, once you fall off, they run away. And then, the sound of the air jacket and the way you look, I look like the Uros man when my air jacket blows up. This flippin' amazing horse of mine just got up, walked back into the arena and looked at me and waited for me to come and get her, as if to say, what on earth happened? Like 1 minute we were going, the next minute we weren't. And I was like, I also want to know what happened, so we had this little like conversation. And then I took off my jacket, checked that she was okay, and thankfully she was okay, I was okay. I had a bit of a sore head from my face plant into the arena, but otherwise we were okay. So that was the crazy things that happened to us. 2 days, the dogs on the Wednesday, our fall on the Thursday, and then we were going to our first 1:30 on the Friday. And after all that, she jumped the most beautiful clear round in her first 1:30, and I was so happy with her. And so I learned a great lesson from the things that happened. And this lesson is a life lesson. It's not just applicable to horse riding. And it's that sometimes in life, bad things just happen. It's through no fault of your own or anybody else's. Sometimes things just happen and there's nothing you could have done to stop it or change the outcome. And when those things happen, in my case with Nina, it wasn't both things that happened weren't super bad things, thankfully. But if you're going through something right now, or if in future something happens and it's just a bad thing, there's nothing you could have really done to influence the outcome. You've just got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going. What's happened has happened. The only thing that you can influence now is what you do about it. And for me, the biggest thing that I feel in control of is my own resilience. How to just keep going. That's what resilience is for me. And so things will happen, but the important thing for you to focus on is what you can do from here on. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also remember to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my other upcoming videos.